It's what we all struggle with, but the answer really isn't all that difficult. What we need to do is we need to exceed customers' expectations. We need to make the interactions easier. We need to make them faster, and we need to make them more effective.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to your favorite CX show, the Engati CX show. I'm your host, Rahul, and today we have a customer service expert with us on the show today. But before I introduce you to our special guest, allow me to introduce you to the magic of Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform available across 14 channels with 35,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by Inc.com, TechWorld, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, the video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, of course, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, none other than Colin Taylor. And he is recognized as a leading contact center, inside sales, and CX expert. And Colin has received 30 awards for excellence in contact center operations and management on 2 continents. Colin was recognized at number 5 in a global ranking of the Customer Service 100, top 15 and top 50 customer experience influencers, top 16 contact center tweeters to follow, top 50 customer service blogs and websites for businesses, and more. So welcome to the show, Colin. Such an honor to have you on board.
It's a pleasure to be here listening to you go through that list. I felt my head getting larger and larger. You're going to give me a fat head with all these kind words and listing the accolades. But no, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Appreciate that. That's actually an after effect of all the success that happens. Well, moving to the first question, Colin, that I have for you is, what is the best approach to creating memorable experiences for customers through contact center management?
Well, that's really, it's what we all struggle with, but the answer really isn't all that difficult. What we need to do is we need to exceed customers' expectations. We need to make the interactions easier. We need to make them faster, and we need to make them more effective. Right. Frankly, given the overall state of the customer experience in many organizations, that really shouldn't be all that difficult. Customers contact us when they want to do something. They have a question, they've got a problem, and we just have to make it easy for them to get to that answer. So the challenge really is how do we do this? Well, we need to be customer centric, right? We need to place the customer at the center of all the processes and all the activities and interactions that we design and complete. Right. We need to have customer journey maps. We need to understand the interactions from the customer's perspective. Mm-hmm. So that put ourselves in our customer's shoes, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we need to analyze interaction history. The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Sure. Well, I know many IVRs that do exactly that. People, you make an entry and you expect A and you get B instead, because it's not been designed from the customer perspective. So not what the customer thinks that means, it's what the organization thinks it means. Mm-hmm. But if we start going through our interaction history, we start going through the logs, we can identify specific tasks which are high volume, low complexity tasks, which are great candidates to look at automation, look at bots, look at self-service, et cetera. So, mm-hmm. So those I think are the 3 key points: easier, faster, and more effective, that we need to focus on, and a little bit about how I think we get there.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about making the customer life easier, I think, and that's the whole core of it. Well, moving to my next question that I have for you is, and now, contact centers and call centers have also evolved a lot. And that's probably because of a lot of new technology that has come through. So what, according to you, and how, according to you, have contact centers, evolved with these new emerging technologies?
Well, I've been in the contact center and customer support industry for 44 years now. So, wow. I've been here a long time, and there's always been new technology. Now, I don't quite go back to the tin can and string phase, but I do remember call directors and and a time when ACDs were new and exciting tools. So there's been, technology is a tool. It's not it's not an end in itself. I've been doing this for many years. I've seen lots of different innovations, from predictive dialers. I remember when CRMs were going to be an overnight success, and it only took 20 years to make it so.
Right.
So there has always been a constant evolution of the technology, and the technology is all focused on how do we make things easier for the agents or easier for the customers. So if we look at things like CRM, that was really to allow the organization to have an easier time managing their relationships with many customers. We look at the first IVRs that came out in the late 80s, and that was really to try and help the organization and the customer get them to the right agent at the right time. When we first started to see self-service rear its head in the early 2000s, that was all about we don't want to make a customer wait in queue for an agent if they can get this information themselves, either on the phone or through the website. So
Right.
it's been a constant process of evolution. And recent initiatives, things like we talk about bots, we talk about chatbots, voice bots, virtual assistants. We talk about AI, we talk about algorithms. Well, algorithms have been around for 20 plus years. AI is really just an effective algorithm. Leveraging some sexy new acronyms like NLP and NLU and machine learning, et cetera, right? So
Yeah.
there's been a constant evolution to easier, faster, and there's been a constant shift to how can we eliminate low complexity tasks and make them easier for the organization to deliver and the customers to get what they want.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think the evolution with technology is the curve is pretty steep these days, and there's a lot of new technology coming in, things that they haven't even introduced. So I think there's a bright future, and it's very interesting future coming through with this industry too as well. But talking about the future and the new technologies, like you mentioned, conversational AI, right? That's chatbots and all other technologies. So how can we use technologies like these, like conversational AI, to achieve higher level of satisfaction for customers?
Well, I think that's a question on many people's minds today. Is lots of organizations are looking at it, trying to figure out how to automate, how to leverage conversational AI, and for many of them, unfortunately, they don't really succeed.
Right.
But I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. Easier, faster, more effective, and do the analysis to understand where are the opportunities to appropriately deploy it. But at the end of the day, a customer wants to resolve a question or solve a problem, when they contact an organization. Nobody's phoning to say, "So, how are you today? It's a sunny day here," right? That's not happening. They've got something they want to do. So the easier and the faster that we can deliver the correct answer, the happier the customer is going to be. So easy, so you look at CX metrics around effort, right? So we make it easy. So it's easy to get through. We're not having to make 87 entries in an IVR. We're making it fast, simple, easy. We're allowing them to, not to have to spend 20 minutes surfing FAQs trying to find an answer. We want to have the conversational AI available to say, it looks like you're looking for this.
Right.
Or tell us what you're looking for and we can help. So conversational AI provides a low effort way for customers to interact with an organization and with the organization's technology. In the contact center, agents are sort of they're sort of the golf caddies. They know the lay of the land. They know how things need to be done. They're the best ones to help a customer on the phone navigate the systems. If we look at conversational AI, we need to take that same design thinking into the process.
Right.
We are the experts. We know where the data lives. We know how to get it. And it's just a question of keeping that customer at the center of the interaction so we aren't confusing them with jargon or convoluted processes that they don't really care about. It's, make it easy for the customer and get them the right information as fast as we're able to do that. So
Mm.
conversational AI is going to, is going to create an interface, is going to allow us to automate tasks to better serve the customer. A customer who's better served, who gets the right answer faster, easier, simpler, is going to be a happier customer. They're going to tell more people about the fact that, hey, this is really easy to go get this information, and that's going to spur positive word of mouth, and all of that's going to contribute to a better customer satisfaction and customer experience scores. Now, there are limitations. We keep eating our way up from high volume, low complexity, and over the years we've taken a lot of tasks out of the bottom
Mm.
of that as we look at the hierarchy from low complexity to high complexity.
Right.
So we need to make sure we can do the low complexity stuff before we get too ambitious and try and build something to do everything.
Mhm.
Many of the chatbot projects that that we're familiar with, where they failed to be successful, they started out with a very narrow focus, and every time they had a meeting, they tried to add 6 new things it could do, and at the end of the day, it couldn't do any of them, or couldn't do any of them well.
Right.
So it's important to work with a proven platform, to make sure that you design it from the customer perspective, sort of that outside in point of view. And it's important that you try not to do everything at once. Narrow your scope, keep it simple, look at low complexity tasks. And as you get good at those, you can move to more and more complex interactions, and keep analyzing your data in your back end to see how the customers are reacting to it, and watch your satisfaction scores, break them down by interaction type, et cetera. So this is what I see as the near term usage of this technology, and that's probably way more information than you wanted, but it's hard for me to shut up sometimes, as my wife has pointed out.
No, Colin, I must say that this is one of the most complex questions that uh, organizations have been trying to figure out. How do we really automate? How do we do it the right way? But it's very fascinating how you put it really simple out there. I mean, the solution is very simple. Just make life easier for your customer. That's all they want. When they come to you with a query, just make it easy for them to get their query and move on with their lives. It's not really necessary to keep it very fancy. As long as you keep it simple and get the purpose solved, you're good to go, I think so. And that's probably how it is, and it's pretty amazing how you put it out. And
Thank
also,
you.
talking about I mean, now you've been in the business for like 40 plus years, like you mentioned, and you've seen a lot of evolution. So what, according to you, what customer support trends can we look forward in the near future?
Well, I think we're going, bots aren't going away, and we've gone from sort of one-off, sort of, a bot to do this and a different bot to do that, and automated workflows, all sort of disconnected and all over the map. I think you're going to see more consistency and continuity as platforms start to be able to be applied across multiple channels. Let's write the program once, and then let's deploy it in a number of different ways. So that what we use on the website, we can use with social media, and we can use in a voice-enabled environment as well. But I also think that we're looking at a post-COVID-19 new normal, right?
Right.
So work from home is here to stay, and I think that really provides lots of great opportunities and challenges when we think of how we support our customers.
Right.
COVID-19 has accelerated the trend to work from home by 5 to 10 years. It was out there. It's been going on for years. It's been getting slow, incremental adoption, and all of a sudden, everybody in March decided that they had to be work at home if they wanted to stay in business. So, but one of the challenges which work at home brings is isolation for agents.
Right.
They're working from a different environment. They're home. They don't have their friends. They don't they don't have their support network. The supervisor, they can't just wave or go or run up to their desk. And while there might be group chats and and other tools, it's still a very different environment for them. So I think one of the big areas we're seeing and going to be seeing more and more work done in the coming future in the area of AI is really it's sort of that agent assistance or that virtual assistant where basically it's going to listen into the call. It's going to know what the process flow is, and it's going to go and get the information that the agent is going to need from whatever system or systems it needs to check. So all of a sudden, you've really got, you've got that sort of helper bot that is serving the agent, and they're running behind the scenes. The customer is never going to know that this is taking place, but it's going to eliminate a lot of time during the calls. It's going to eliminate the let me check this system, no, let me check that system. It's just going to go and fetch all this stuff, and this is going to empower the agents. It is going to provide a level of reassurance and confidence to the newly isolated or new agent who's working from home and isn't used to working without a support system. So it really provides, I think, a better customer experience, because the customers are given the right information fast, because the agent assist bot has gone and gotten it and given it to the agent. And it also is going to support the agent and their confidence in their performance level, and therefore benefit the organization as well. But that's going to inevitably lead to, frankly, digital agents, where an agent's going to be, or a digital agent is going to be able to do 90+% of what a physical flesh and blood agent is doing today. And there are some firms out there who are already playing in this space. So, will robots eat all our jobs? Well, I guess the answer is maybe. There's still going to be types of calls, interactions, which are going to involve human beings. But we've been on an automation trend since the first self-service. Look at our FAQs was launched. So that's 20 odd years, about 20 years ago, and we've been continually eliminating call types and interaction types that were low complexity and higher volume, because we can make it easier for the consumer and for the customer. So I think that's going to carry on. There's some other interesting tools out there, things like real-time sentiment analysis that can use voice analytics in real time, if you will, an open mic environment that can guide the agent through the interaction, because it can help recognize if the customer is stressed or getting frustrated or getting angry, and it can give them suggestions on how to manage or ameliorate those sentiments. So I think there's lots of interesting and exciting times ahead for us, really. Technology isn't going to stop, and it's a constant evolution to take what we've got today, what works, build on it, and keep finding new ways of doing things that satisfy those basic 3 points I made at the beginning. Is it, make it easy for the customer, make it, make it efficient, make it effective, and make it faster. So,
absolutely. We personally can't really wait to see what all is there in the future, because I think even in the last 5 years, the amount of technology and amount of revolution that has come through in the industry, I mean, it's fascinating to see that. And and so many people, so many thought leaders have been talking about systems wherein they hardly need any human attention over there. But we all think that at the end of the day, there will be one query which the bot cannot solve, and maybe that's where. So it has to be like a balance of technology with the human touch, and that I think will provide the perfect customer service that they require.
Agreed.
Very well answered. Well, this was a great conversation, and closing out, are there any other thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, as I said at the outset, I guess technology is a tool. It can't be an end in itself. You won't achieve your business goals if you approach it that way. But it needs to be a tool that can reduce friction in customer interactions. We want to make it easier, better, faster, cheaper, et cetera, right? It can allow agents to focus on supporting the customer and allow the customer to resolve their inquiry, either on their own or collaboratively with an agent. Or we can look at the future of technology and see it as a dystopian cudgel that forces customers into workflows that are unsatisfying, unproductive, frustrating, and inefficient. And if you think that's sort of far-fetched, how many times have we all sat there shouting agent into an IVR that wasn't properly designed, and as a result created an unsatisfactory interaction. So I think that we just need to keep the customer at the center. If the customer was at the center of that IVR design process, where you're shouting agent into the phone at the top of your lungs 43 times, you wouldn't have created that IVR to flow that way. So as we are handing off more activities, more interactions, more contact types to technology, it's never been more important to ensure that the customer perspective is represented, and that we're designing this to make it easy for the customer rather than easy for the organization. The technology today, that's not that different. The effort required to make it easy for the customer is not significantly different than what you might build if you're just looking to serve the organization first. And that wasn't always the case. We know so much more about our customers now. We understand what they're seeking. We understand their personality types even. We can design this. We can do this. It doesn't have to be a cudgel, and we don't have to be screaming agent. We just need to keep the customer in mind in everything that we design, and it will work well. The customers will like it, and the organizations will succeed.
Well, there you have it, guys. Simple, straightforward, none other than Colin Taylor dropping Engati gems on the Engati CX show exclusively. Well, thank you so much, Colin, for giving us your time. Your insights were extremely valuable, and I know our audience are really going to enjoy this interview.
It has been my pleasure, and thank you again for the opportunity. Really do appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
It's been an honor. So we'll be back with a new episode on a brand new expert soon. So stay tuned, and we'll see you around for the next one.